815. Modesty, the gate of extremes. The quality of behavior which expresses the proper balance between extremes. The 15th gate is a part of the cross of the vessel. It is the gate of the aura and is the self that is magnetic. The love of this gate is for humanity. This channel defined always determines the rhythm of the environment. Modesty in the traditional sense is always a matter of balancing extremes. Through this gate, the possible extremes are lived out. People who are busy or not, sleep long and short, eat early, eat late. In other words, people who will live out extremes in their rhythm. In design analysis, in working with composites, there is a type of connection called electromagnetic. In this connection, each partner activates the opposite gate of the channel, forming a definition. This is attraction, repulsion, love, hate, a basic relationship dynamic. However, in 3 cases, 45-21, 35-36, and 5-15, this type of connection is very difficult. The 15th gate is uncomfortable with a fixed pattern, and the 5th gate destabilized by extreme rhythms. Line 1, beauty. The ability to confront any challenge without expectations. Exalted, harmonic relationships which give support for the fulfillment of any task. The capacity of the self to confront any challenge through extreme and harmonic relationships. Detriment, alienation, engendered through exaggerated claims. The capacity of the self to alienate others through extremes. Line 2, influence. Exalted, modesty and right action result in enduring standards. The capacity of the self to accept its extreme nature as correct. Detriment, where the sun's actions are natural, the earth's are contrived. Though given the power of this position, the same effect can be expected. The capacity to use the extreme nature of the self to influence others. Line 3, ego inflation. The risk that modesty once recognized will self-destruct. Exalted, where the otherwise negative contrived modesty is here reinforced by recognition and maintained as an effective strategy. The extremism of the self, a strategy to control the flow. Detriment, the I told you so mentality, the capacity of the self to point out the extremes of others. Line 4, the wallflower. Modesty is a shield against exposure of inadequacy. Exalted, a genuine form that may or may not mask inadequacies. The uncomfortableness of the self when it is out of the flow. Detriment, an ultimately weak defense leading to exposure and humiliation. Extremism that keeps the self out of the flow. Line 5, sensitivity. The ability to sense when otherwise balanced behavior must be adjusted to meet the requirements of challenging environment. Exalted, the power to grow, the capacity of the self to grow through experiencing extremes. Detriment, the tendency to overcompensate, the drive of the self to overcompensate and disturb the flow. Line 6, self-defense. Modesty that is never confused with weakness. Exalted, constant re-examination to weed out the weakest aspect. The power of the self in exploring the extremes to find the weakest point. Detriment, a tendency to use harmony as the weapon in problem situations rather than focusing on the root causes. The power of the self to ignore the weakest point of favor in favor of harmony.